for an hour and eat and just lay back and relax. It's like there's a spurt on them. And then if you can say, could you, no, you wait till 4 o'clock. You got to wait. All right, that's how they are. Because you had this thing where they bust their ass. By the way, Issachar means he is hired. Now, the way to pronounce it is not Yashakar, it's Yashashka. Yashashka. Okay? Yashashka means he, the Yah, he hired or he is hired. That's what it means. Because he became a servant to tribute. Because let me tell you something, I can't work the hours that Issachar can work, man. They work 18, 19 hours like it's nothing. Because it's in their DNA. Because the Most High made them that way. That's why, hence they got the name Issachar, Yashashka, which is an omen. He is hired. Okay? Read that again.
And he saw that rest was good.
So read it from the top.
Issachar is a strong ass couching down between two burdens. And he saw that rest was good, and the land that it was pleasant.
The land is pleasant, man. When I went down there, the smell of the land, you had palm trees down there. You had different type of trees and vegetables down there. You know, it was a whole different spirit. Go ahead.
And bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant unto tribute.
A servant unto tribute, meaning tribute means work. That's when the Spanish word trabajando, which means work. Okay, when you pay tribute to somebody, that's that word work. You work for somebody. Okay. All right, go ahead.
That was it on that.
That was it on that. All right, now let's go from there to the book of Deuteronomy, the 33rd chapter and the 18th verse. All right, go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 18. And of Zebulun he said, Rejoice, Zebulun, in thy going out, and Issachar in thy tents. They shall call the people unto the mountains. There they shall offer sacrifices of righteousness, for they shall suck of the abundance of the seas and of the treasures hid in the sand.
Read that last part again, the middle.
Okay, it says, there they shall offer.
Read the part where it goes into Issachar.
Okay, it says, and Issachar in the tents, and Issachar in thy tents, they shall call the people unto the mountain. There they shall offer sacrifices of righteousness, for they shall suck of the abundance of the sea.
Right. The part where they said about sacrifices of righteousness is a lot of them know that they're Israelites. Right. You run into enough of Mexicans, they'll tell you they know that they're Israelites. Now the reason why they know that they were Israelites, because I had the article, but I don't have time to really bring it out, but you can look it up for yourself, that during the time of the conquistadors, you had a lot of Spaniards and Moors, which were Israelites, come to Mexico. And then they would marry Mexican women, they would intermarry with them, and they would bring their custom of being an Israelite or the Torah. So you had mixed families where you had Issachar marrying among the real Israelites and some so-called Jews. So they were actually praying to the Most High. They were following Torah. Now, years ago, back when Yaiqua was still living, I'm talking about back in the early 80s, he actually had an article where it was showing you that there was a group of Issacharites that actually take out the Torah and they do the Torah blessing and they keep the Passover. But I was trying to find that article and I couldn't find it. It's an old article. But if you do enough research, which I have found an article on the web, it tells you back in the 1500s and the 1600s, you had a lot of Israelites from Spain that came over here to the Americas, mainly Mexico. All right? Go ahead.
It says, and Issachar in thy tents. Then they shall call the people unto the mountains. There they shall offer sacrifices of righteousness, for they shall suck of the abundance of the seas and of the treasures hid in the sand.
And of the treasures hid in the sand. Now what treasure is hid in the sand? That Esau known about this back in the 1800s. I'm going to let the brother read this part of this article.
Yeah, this is from a webpage entitled Oil. It says, although explorers drilled Mexico's first petroleum well in 1869, oil was not discovered until the turn of the 20th century. Commercial production crude oil began in 1901. By 1910, prospectors had begun to define the Panuco, Ibano, and Faja de Oro fields located near the central Gulf of Mexico coast town of Tuxpan. And systematic explorations by foreign companies came to supersede the uncoordinated efforts of speculative prospectors. Mexico began to export oil in 1911. Now, there's a point down here in the third paragraph. I'll just read it. It says, Mexico was second only to the United States in petroleum output and led the world in oil exports. By the early 1930s, however, output had fallen to just 20% of its 1921 level as a consequence of worldwide economic depression.
Yeah, so the oil's still down there, man. Now, you know, down there in the Gulf of Mexico, they cracked the bottom of the sea right there, and they can't stop the oil. They wanted oil, now they're getting too much damn oil. All right? They want it, so they got it. You got some more?
Yeah, reading on further, it says Mexico's oil output expanded at an average annual rate of 6% between 1938 and 1971. Production increased from 44 million barrels in 1938 to 78 million barrels in 1951. Domestic demand progressively exceeded output, and in 1957, Mexico became a net importer of petroleum products. Production rose to 177 million barrels by 1971, with the exploitation of new oil fields in the Isthmus of Tehuantepec. So that's the point.
That's right. You got something?
Yeah, this is Genesis chapter 30, verse 14. And Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest, and found mandrakes in the field, and brought them unto his mother Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah, Give me, I pray thee, of thy son's mandrakes. And she said unto her, Is it a small matter that thou hast taken my husband? And wouldest thou take away my son's mandrakes also? And Rachel said, Therefore he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son's mandrakes. And Jacob came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him, and said, Thou must come in unto me, for surely I have hired thee with my son's mandrakes. And he lay with her that night, and the Most High hearkened unto Leah, and she conceived and bare Jacob the fifth son. And Leah said, The Most High hath given me my hire, because I have given my maiden to my husband. And she called his name Issachar.
So that goes back to the omen name sign. So his name was called He Is Hired, and guess what? That was in the spirit, man. Okay. Now, did we read Deuteronomy 33? Okay, so we read that. Now let's go from there to the book of 1 Chronicles, the 12th chapter and the 32nd verse. Now this is an important scripture because they came out with a movie called 2012, right? And it's based off of the, now get that ready on the tab, brother. You got the first tab, which is, it says something about Maya, and then the second tab goes into it, it follows suit, all right? And there's one of them tabs.